From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Jake Asman.
Man, football is back. We are less than a week away from the start of the NFL season. Next Thursday night, defending champion Bucs open up against the Dallas Cowboys. 1 week from tomorrow, the full slate of the NFL season gets underway. And there are a lot of just awesome storylines to follow around the NFL this year, including the 5 rookie quarterbacks that were taken in the first round, right? Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Mac Jones. There are so many expectations around these guys. There are so many interesting storylines surrounding those players. And when I talk about the rookie quarterbacks from this past year's draft class, it's no secret if you listen to this show, I'm a fan of the New York Jets. So I've been very, very intrigued by what has been said about Zach Wilson before he has even played in an NFL game. Now, we know Trevor Lawrence was the can't-miss prospect. We know Trevor Lawrence was the generational prospect, right? Oh, he's the best prospect since Elway, since Peyton Manning. We heard all that. Since Andrew Luck. But then, if you kind of been following the offseason, really from the draft to where we are right now, the most talked about rookie quarterback has not been Trevor Lawrence. The most talked about rookie quarterback has not been Mac Jones, who this week, of course, was named the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. The most talked about rookie quarterback by credible NFL people that know this stuff way better than I do, way better than probably 99% of you listening right now, has been Zach Wilson. And it makes me a little nervous as a Jet fan when I hear so many positive things about a quarterback on the Jets, especially, right? I mean, going into the draft, Zach Wilson was kind of like the unknown prospect. Now, maybe Trey Lance was a little more unknown because he played at North Dakota, but because he got drafted by the 49ers and we all hail Kyle Shanahan, everyone's like, greatest pick ever. He's going to be amazing. That's kind of how it goes, right? The Niners get the benefit of the doubt. The Jets, who have been a disaster for a decade, they don't. But if you now kind of look back on the last couple of weeks here, like the Zach Wilson hype train has been just at catastrophic levels right now. It's been at just all over the place from notable people. And the latest person to opine on Zach Wilson was Tony Romo, now with CBS Sports. And Romo played quarterback. Romo is as good as any NFL analyst, I would say, in the sport. He's the highest paid NFL analyst out of anyone in football, right? He makes $18 million a year from CBS. And I looked it up. Before you hear what Romo said about Zach Wilson at a CBS Sports conference call, I looked it up. Does Tony Romo share an agent with Zach Wilson? Does Tony Romo share a marketing agent with Zach Wilson? Like, why? What's the agenda here? What's the angle for Tony Romo to say what I'm about to play for you about Zach Wilson? Well, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find any connection. So first, I want you to hear what Tony Romo had to say about Zach Wilson, and then we'll go through some of the other people that have had some crazy predictions for the Jets' young rookie quarterback. This is Tony Romo.
Within the next couple of years, I think you're going to see him rise. I think he's unbelievable. His ceiling is so high. It's rare for me to say someone has the ability to get in the stratosphere of a Mahomes, but I think this kid actually has that ability.
I mean, I almost fell off my chair the first time I heard that. Getting ready for the show today. He compared Zach Wilson to Patrick Mahomes. He says it's rare for me to put anyone in that category, but he's seen Zach Wilson and he's saying that. I mean, Tony Romo has no reason to come up with a hot take, right? He's not Stephen A. Smith on First Take. Like, he's not paid for hot takes. Tony Romo's paid to be an analyst. He has his contract. CBS is not telling him, hey, if you want to make more money, say bonkers things about Zach Wilson. That's not what's happening here. So that was Tony Romo there. Tony Romo also said a couple weeks ago that Zach Wilson reminds him of a young Dan Marino. I remember talking about that on this show a couple weeks back. So I'm a little nervous when I hear all this praise before we see the guy play in an NFL game, but think about it. Zach Wilson, I think, is getting hyped up right now because people are paying attention to him for the first time. He played at BYU last year. A lot of people didn't watch BYU football. A lot of people were like, oh, well, Justin Fields, you got to take him. Second best quarterback. Played at Ohio State. Look what he did against Clemson. Oh, Trey Lance, if the Niners want him, he's got to be great. Oh, Mac Jones, we watched him at Alabama. Now that people have watched Zach Wilson this preseason, where he has looked like the best rookie quarterback out of any of them that have played so far, statistically in the eyeball test, people are starting to really hype up Zach Wilson. What does this all mean? I mean, look, it means nothing if he stinks. But I, for once, actually feel really good about where the Jets are at with their franchise and where they're at with this young quarterback. Zach Wilson is smart. He's grounded. He takes responsibility for his own development. He can manage the New York media. You need to be able to do all this if you're going to be a successful quarterback in New York. He listens to coaches, studies. I feel good about where he's at. And it's not just Tony Romo talking up Zach Wilson. I put together a bunch of notable NFL folks and their comments on Zach Wilson. Steve Young. Yeah, Steve Young's a BYU guy, so of course he's going to like Zach. But Steve Young said back in April that he sees a lot of Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes in Zach Wilson's game. Chris Collinsworth said earlier this week that Wilson, quote, plays the game like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers, Mahomes. I don't need Zach Wilson to be that. But if he's anywhere close, wow, the Jets finally have their first long-term answer at quarterback since Joe Namath. Teddy Bruschi on ESPN picked Zach Wilson to win AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. Raved about his potential, his talent, work ethic. And then, oh yeah, the guy that Wilson keeps getting compared to, Aaron Rodgers. In an interview during the Packers-Jets broadcast a couple of weeks back, Aaron Rodgers said he agrees with all the hype around Wilson, saying, quote, he could throw the heck out of the ball, and he's excited to see what he could do in this league for a long time. So you hear all this, and it's like, all right, when do I wake up from the dream here? Because Sam Darnold, I thought, was going to be really good, didn't work out. But Sam Darnold did not have hype like this. Mark Sanchez went to the championship game 2 years in a row as a rookie and second-year quarterback. Wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It looked like he had a real future in the league. He wasn't hyped up like this. Chad Pennington wasn't hyped up like this. Name me the Jets quarterback that has ever had more hype than Zach Wilson. Since Joe Namath, no one's had more hype than Zach Wilson. And I feel like people that have finally watched Zach Wilson now maybe didn't pay a lot of attention to him last year at BYU or in the pre-draft process. Now that people have seen it and watched it in the preseason, there's an expectation that Zach Wilson's going to be really, really good. And I see it. I see the way he plays. I see the throws that he can make, right? The off-platform, different arm angles that he could throw the football from. I see the talent level. I really do. The Jets are still a year or two away. But what I like about what they have done this time around for Zach Wilson and what they didn't do for Sam Darnold for 3 years is they have given him a chance to have success. Zach Wilson's receivers on opening day this year are light years better than any of the receivers Sam Darnold had in 3 years. Right? Zach Wilson's throwing to Corey Davis, Jamison Crowder, Denzel Mims, Keelan Cole, and most importantly, Elijah Moore, who's been the Jets' best player in training camp and somehow was there at the beginning of the second round of the draft. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. picked Elijah Moore to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's how confident he is in him. So the fact of the matter is this: Wilson has more weapons than Sam Darnold ever did. Wilson also has a better offensive line. His starting left tackle is a future All-Pro in Mekhi Becton. His starting left guard is maybe the cleanest prospect to come out of the draft, Elijah Vera Tucker. His starting right tackle is a Pro Bowl caliber guy, Morgan Moses, who somehow the Jets were able to sign in June after the Washington football team released him. So better O-line, better weapons. And the other reason why I think Zach Wilson will have success, better coaching, man. Sam Darnold never had a chance when his two head coaches were Todd Bowles, and then somehow I made the mistake of saying at the time, well, there's no way Gase could be worse than Bowles. Oh, was I wrong? Adam Gase made Todd Bowles look like Bill Belichick. So just by having better coaching, and specifically better offensive coaching. So Sam Darnold's rookie year, his offensive coordinator was Jeremy Bates. Jeremy Bates has not been in football since that 1 year with Sam Darnold. Then the Jets bring in Adam Gase, offensive genius. He made Peyton Manning great, right? Or, I don't know, maybe he got Peyton Manning his coffee in Denver, but somehow he got the Jet job after he failed in Miami. Adam Gase is the offensive guy for Sam Darnold. How'd that work out? Gase, not in football. Sam's real OC last year, Darryl Loggins, who's a lackey for Adam Gase. Offensive analyst at Penn State, I believe. Penn State can't score today. I'm watching them against Wisconsin right now. Let's blame Adam Gase for that one, too. So I say all that to say just the coaching is better. Robert Saleh, by accident, will be better than Gase. I feel comfortable saying that, even though I was wrong when I said that about Gase compared to Todd Bowles. And I like the fact that the Jets went out there, Saleh went out there and brought in Mike LaFleur, who was with the Niners as their offensive pass game coordinator, and brought him in to coach up Zach Wilson. The Jets are going to be running a Shanahan-style offense, and that seems to be the trend in the NFL right now, right? And plus, if LaFleur is as good as his brother, Matt, who's coaching up Aaron Rodgers and has gone 13-3 each of his first 2 years as a head coach, you feel good about where this team's at. You feel like they have the right infrastructure in place. So there's a lot of hype around Zach Wilson, but I feel like he's the closest thing the Jet fan has had to the guy that could be the franchise quarterback, because the way he plays is light years ahead of where a rookie should be, according to his coach. And he's just got a solid supporting cast around him. The Jets are still another draft away. Probably a couple more free agents away from really being a playoff team. But if everything lines up and Wilson plays well this year, you're going to be looking at the Jets like the Chargers are going into this year, right? Justin Herbert played well. You feel like they could be a playoff team. They go out there in the draft and they improve their O-line. They use free agency to get some big offensive linemen for Herbert. The Jets are about a year away from being able to do that, and Wilson's the real deal. The NFL is loaded with teams positioned to win now and repeatedly year after year if you have a franchise quarterback. And if Wilson is that, you're set up for success. And finally, I'll say this about the Jets' future. Joe Douglas is a good GM. He's proved it. His drafts have been solid so far. I think this year's class has a chance to be very, very good, obviously, depending on Wilson. But the Jets have 10 picks in next year's draft, 7 picks in the first 4 rounds. Salary cap flexibility. They own their own first-round pick this year and Seattle's. They own their own second-round pick this year and Carolina's. They had their own third-round pick. 4th round, they own the Panthers pick and the Vikings pick. 5th round, they own their own pick and the Steelers pick. 6th round, they own their own pick. 7 picks in the first 4 rounds. 7 picks in the first 130 of the draft. If Zach Wilson's good, this team is set up to have long-term success. That's what it comes down to. So, yeah, Zach Wilson has more hype around him than any Jets quarterback since Joe Namath. But when Aaron Rodgers says it, and Teddy Bruschi says it, and Chris Collinsworth says it, and Steve Young says it, and Tony Romo says it, I think it's okay if you're a Jet fan to be cautiously optimistic that you maybe found your franchise quarterback of the future. I think it's okay to be excited about the direction this team is headed and where this team is going forward. Agree or disagree? 800-224-2004. You also could tweet me. I'm on Twitter. Follow me there at Jake Asman, JakeAsman. Coming up, we talk all things college football. What a day to kick off the season. A live update between Alabama and Miami. Coming your way next. Our own Brian Scheibel is on site at the game. More coming up. It is the Jake Asman Show. You're listening here on radio stations throughout the country on a Saturday here on Sports Map Radio.
When it comes to sports betting, SportsMapBets.com is the site you need. From weekly betting guides